99% of hockey games that were competed like tonight, trip in Vegas between the Avalanche and the Vegas Golden Knights would have come away with a loss for the Avs, but no, not this team. No, not this version of the Colorado Avalanche, trailing 2-0, 4-2, 5-4 with under 3 minutes to go and a pulled goaltender. Arturi Lehkonen ties this thing up on the 6-on-5. The Avs play a wonderful 3-on-3, and somehow, some way, for the first time all season in their 5th shootout of the year, get their first shootout victory, and they find a way to come from behind and beat the Vegas Golden Knights. Welcome to Between the Pipes. Alex Ryan alongside Mark Springer. Spring, it feels like a team of destiny. They just find ways to get things done. I don't understand how they do it. 99% of games that are played this way, you walk away not with 1 point, but with 0 points. They find a way to get to.
Yeah, it's just stupid. It's just stupid at this point. Like this should have been a game they lost, except they really were the better team. Like they just outplayed Vegas, all said and done. They never died. They always fought. They want to win every damn game. I don't know if it's because Dallas is still on their tails, even though Dallas picking up another loss here, but and it's a Vegas team that, let's see, they're without Jack Eichel. They're without Shea Theodore and William Karlsson. Pietrangelo out for the year.
Pietrangelo likely done for his career.
Yeah. Okay. If the three primary players mentioned play, I don't know, maybe Vegas wins this game, but there's still just something about this team. If this was a 7-game series, even if they had those three players, what you saw from Colorado tonight was just they don't quit. They're too talented. Like Marty Necas is a stud. Like he is come into his own. He's not that Hurricanes Marty Necas, which was a very good player. He is upped his level. It's like he feels it. He senses it now. They win in a shootout, their first shootout win of the season. That was the most Avalanche shootout win you could possibly have. That thing was, first of all, overtime was awesome.
Overtime was phenomenal.
Nathan MacKinnon made the Knights shit their pants 3 times in overtime. Brock Nelson hit a post. I thought Necas and Lehkonen were a good pairing in overtime. McKinnon was a freak. Taves was good. Makar coming back from blocking a shot late in the game.
Yeah, that puckered you up, didn't it?
Yeah, good. He looked fine. And then they go Ross Colton to open the shootout. Interesting choice. His first shootout attempt of the season, I guess, because they suck in shootouts. Let's try everything. Glad they went with Necas because he's had the best shootout move of the season, which is not saying much. This one from Necas, my dude did everything in his ability to just will that puck in. He's trying to do one of those misdirection moves. He falls on his ass.
The Kadri move.
He falls on his ass. He just willed that thing in. It was not pretty because these guys don't have the moves. And then Nathan MacKinnon's move was just, I'm going to stop in the slot. I'm going to slam on the brakes, and then I'm just going to fire this thing. It's because Nate's not pretty. Nate's not like, whoop, 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 whoop. That's not Nate. Nate's down your throat. I thought, even with that head of steam, I thought maybe he was just going to commit to that. But instead, he just slammed on the brakes very forcefully. And maybe that threw Carter Hart off for just a tick, and then he slung it in. It was the most, like, these dudes are not skilled like that, but they found a way to get it done.
MacKinnon's shootout move, his go-to shootout move, and I apologize if it feels or sounds a little odd tonight. I'm in my wife's office. I have my in-laws downstairs with my nephews. My daughter is now sleeping in her nursery, so I can't utilize that, and I also have a brand new microphone. So The next time that we do it between the pipes, hopefully it'll be perfect sounding. But I have upgraded my microphone. Those of you who have been begging me to do so, it's now upgraded. McKinnon has two shootout moves, right? He has the one where he walks in hard and does that little like soft saucer pass up into the corner of the net, and then he has the other one where he walks in hard, stops, and then stick handles a bunch of times, kind of like Patrick Kane, and he kind of did a combination of the two, right? Walks in hard, hits the break, and instead of stick handling, trying to get around the goaltender, he hits the brakes and then rips a snapshot across Carter Hart's glove side. As much as I don't care about shootouts, and you guys know I don't, the fact that they got a point in this game was a monster win for me. They had to have two crazy bounces in regulation to give them their first two goals. Now, Vegas did had a couple of bounces their own way. For them to go down multiple times by 2 goals in this game, to go down by 1 with under 5 minutes to go after crawling back is for me, in a season where you don't have many boxes left to check in the regular season. So funny because we're only 37 games in now. I've needed to check off adversity, a game that you should not be in whatsoever, and you come back to get a point, if not 2 on the road. You checked it tonight, man. They haven't shown that they would crumble in the face of adversity. They've won so many games that people are probably thinking, oh, well, Colorado hasn't been tested this year. Well, they got tested tonight, and Vegas still couldn't get it done.
I mean, this was a game that, because when you look at they're going to lose, right? They're going to lose some games. They only have 2 regulation losses. Could have been their 3rd, could have been their 8th overtime loss of the year. Only 2 regulation losses. Now we're after Christmas is insane. And you look at the schedule, you're like, okay, what are the teams that could get it done? Well, how about the leaders in the Pacific? Anaheim's been a really fun story, and I like that team. I like that team. Edmonton's coming on. They lose in Calgary tonight. Edmonton's just a point back of Vegas. It's funny how you can snap your fingers and these things happen. And we've talked about it with McDavid and the Hart Trophy race and the Art Ross and the points lead in the NHL. You can snap your finger and it can happen. You can snap your finger and Edmonton's right there, and Vegas is right there, and Vegas is leading the Pacific. Okay, and Vegas has been one of the class of the West, the class of the NHL over the past 5 or so years, as has Colorado been, as is Edmonton and Dallas, like all these teams. So, Minnesota's a very good team. They got Colorado in overtime. Carolina got them in overtime. They're 2 regulation losses. I'm at the point where I can't even remember the second one. Like, I remember Boston, and I can't even remember the second one. I feel like it was something stupid. But you look at the schedule, and you're like, okay, these are the types of teams that could get them. Vegas would be one of them. Nope.
Nashville? Do it. Did they lose on the road in Nashville in regulation?
Was that regulation or overtime?
They're so good. It doesn't. I have no idea.
Fucking good.
New York, the Islanders, the beginning of that East Coast road trip.
The first
Islanders.
game of that road trip.
Thank you, Benny and Mish. Thank you, Benny and Mish.
Your 2 regulation losses are at Boston, Boston's floundering now after playing well. And the Islanders. I think I got like a 1-0 win over the Rangers today. The solid teams, we're both on the road, obviously unbeaten in regulation at home. Like you look at this is this checked boxes in terms of a game they could lose, yet they refuse to lose. I saw Benny in the chat say they were clinical in the 6-on-5.
Oh yeah.
I mean, down 5-4, and how long did they have the puck in the O-zone? Like a minute, over a minute? That thing didn't get out, and it ends with Lehkonen in the slot, and my gosh, he's coming on. You knew Arturi Lehkonen was going to come on sooner or later, and now he has. They thought maybe he had the goal early in this game, but it was Gerard who gets credit for it. Gerard and Malinsky. Gerard's been excellent again for the past several games. Malinsky's been great all year. Sam Malinsky was Jack Drury has dipped a bit. Drury and Malinsky were my 2 dudes. Malinsky, he has kept it. He is a fucking player.
If you were to take an NHL All-Star Game version of hardest shot and keep it to players that are 6 foot or shorter, 190 pounds or lighter, I believe Sam Malinsky could win hardest shot competition. Every time the puck leaves his stick, whether it's a slap shot, a wrist, or a snapper, that thing is humming. It's absolutely flying off his stick. And it doesn't get through Carter Hart if it's not flying. I hate to say it, and I agree with you, Spring. Sam Girard has had a string of really awesome hockey games. If Girard is shooting that puck, Hart eats it. Sure, and it doesn't get through, and Nate isn't able to bury it on the doorstep, right? Because it's so heavy. Like, it's not there's difference between fast shots and heavy shots. And it's so funny that a smaller sized guy like Malinsky has a heavy freaking shot. If it's not as heavy as that, it's not getting through Hart. And you don't, not only do you not win the game, you don't tie the game, you come away with 0 points. And instead of being up 6 points with 2 games in hand on Dallas, you're up 4 with 2.
Good zone entry by Natchez. Yep. Good fight by Landeskog to get that puck up to Malinsky, and then McKinnon just finishes it off. You know, Carter Hart, okay. Gosh, what are his numbers on the year? I feel like he's been good. He did allow 5 goals tonight. We haven't talked about Carter Hart on this show, and obviously there's a lot that goes into that.
Certainly.
Came into tonight with the save percentage over 90%. I'll just talk about the player, okay? Good goalie. Like, he has the like what I viewed with Mackenzie Blackwood, right? You know, good young prospect. Now, their stories are certainly different, but look, there's a reason Vegas picked him up, and Aiden Hill's hurt. You know, there's potential there, but he really wasn't that good tonight overall. He had holes. He was beatable. You know, that Malinsky puck, really, I know Malinsky got a bomb. It shouldn't get through him. I don't know. He didn't look, and I know that, you know, some of the goals they have score on him, you know, there's nothing he can do about him, but just watching him play tonight, even though he's got a similar pedigree to a Mackenzie Blackwood, I don't know. I just didn't see it. I didn't see it. And I don't know if that's a lot of the off the ice stuff and stuff that's in his head, which is a whole can of worms that I don't even want to get into, to be honest with you, because there's just a lot of uncertainty there. But not Blackwood. I'm not seeing that trajectory for him, at least from what I saw tonight.
No, if you're talking about Canadian-born goaltenders who need to be on the Olympic roster, Wedgwood is close as a third stringer behind Binnington and probably Logan Thompson, who has admittedly had a very good 2 seasons with Washington over the past year and a half. I would also make my argument for Blackwood. Now, I didn't watch the game with sound on tonight, so I don't know if Moj and Riker or if Kiefer and Lyles gave an update on why Wedgwood was the goaltender tonight. Was it just simply coming off 1-0 shutout you play? Because I've been there before as a coach, and I've been there before as a player, certainly not at the professional level, where goaltender coming off shutout with days of rest gets the next game. So I was like, oh, that's probably what happened. Did we hear of any other reason why?
No, and I've been meaning to look it up because I was expecting a Blackwood start, and I just searched Blackwood on Twitter, and I don't see any injury thing. It was not mentioned tonight. I had sound on. It was not mentioned.
So I'm gonna assume that it was Wedgwood coming off a 1-0 shutout, hot goaltender, multiple days of rest. We're just gonna go with him again. I'm totally cool with that. I've been there before. I've seen that before. Do it. The next start should be Mackenzie Blackwood. And I do believe if you were to take a third goalie as Hockey Canada, Blackwood should probably be the guy. He's got the higher ceiling. And we went over the numbers a couple of shows ago. Both of those guys are top 5 in the NHL and most of your traditional statistics. They continue to find ways to stop pucks when they need to. Blackwood had big time saves on the 2 power plays in the third period that Vegas had. Colorado had to fight through, and I know power play isn't like something that they really enjoy being on these days. It's funny. They score on 6-on-5. It feels like more often than 5-on-4. You had to fight through not getting power plays. Like you've had a couple of games against Vegas this year, 9 against 2. Vegas versus Colorado in terms of power play opportunities in 2 games.
That's very odd. The one power play that they had tonight, they just couldn't even get the puck in the zone. It felt like. There was a Keegan Kolazar hit on Sam Malinsky.
Should have been a power play. That was a high hit. Kolazar is a freaking headhunter, man. He has been a headhunter his entire career. He leaves his feet constantly. It should have been a penalty.
Then they call this like weird interference call on Josh Manson. And when I see that Kolazar hit on Malinsky, I think about, I can't remember which game it was, but several games ago, Ross Colton got called for boarding when the player was like kind of turning the way that Ross didn't expect, but still the optics of it, okay, you're going to call boarding. But we could excuse away what Ross did based on the movement of the opposing player. Malinsky was stationary, and his numbers are right at Kolazar, and his chest is against the board. So when I see that boarding call on Colton, and that's called, and fine, call it. Then you have to call the Kolazar hit on Malinsky too. That's all I want. All I ask for is consistency. There's your cliche, but it's true. So I mean, I don't know how you don't call that. But I guess, okay, they only wanted to give the Avs 1 power play, and maybe that's for the best. Maybe that's for the best because they kind of suck on it.
It was Colton against Seattle on Ryan Lindgren.
Okay, there it is.
That was your penalty. And I agree. Yeah. I thought it was, I wouldn't say the hits were totally similar, but I do believe the results.
I thought the Kolazar was worse. It was worse.
I completely agree.
That's what I'm saying. So if you're going to call the boarding, then call that.
Yes. I thought the Kolazar hit was worse. I thought the Kolazar hit had a greater potential to be injury causing than Colton's did. Kolazar sped up into the hit.
And it was clear where Malinsky was positioned.
Yes.
Whereas Lindgren was moving in a way that he wasn't initially expected to move. Like anyone probably would have made the play that Colton made. This one was like, it actually kind of felt like that Mikko Rantanen boarding on that Flames player. It wasn't as bad as the Rantanen boarding, but it was similar. Boarding nonetheless. So, but again, look, the Avs aren't very good on the power play, so maybe for the best. And they score the 6-on-5. Lehkonen scores in that bumper, so that's kind of like a power play. And like you said, they're better in the 6-on-5 than they are in the power play. Necas was net front. Like that's the first time this season that Necas has been effective net front.
I remember a couple of times in the power play going, oh, he was there.
Yeah, but they haven't scored with him net front, I don't feel like. Like he's been there and he's been working, but finally him net front actually resulted in a goal. But that's good to see because like he's going to need to occupy that position more on the power play if they're going to have him out there.
You know what? It was delightful to watch was the 3-on-3 overtime and Bednar's ability to pair skill players with defensive counterparts and foils. Like putting Nathan MacKinnon out on the ice with Sam Malinsky and then Gabriel Landeskog. Putting Marty Necas out on the ice, not with Nathan MacKinnon, but finding a way to get him on the ice with Val Nichushkin and Devon Taves. I think that the failures of 3-on-3 overtime at the beginning of the season have been learned by the coaching staff, where we are going to spread around our talent rather than just put all of our best players on the ice and hope that the talent works. I do wonder if you can take that lesson. And now the power play has gotten better over the course of December. Is it great? By no means is it great. Is it fixed? By no means is it fixed. But since December 1st, they are a top 15 power play in the National Hockey League. Maybe going over one tonight has moved them out of the top 15, but they're not like 26th or 27th anymore. I do wonder if the lesson learned from 3-on-3 and just finding the right fit of players rather than getting all of your talent on the ice at the same time could be applied from 3-on-3 to 5-on-4 power plays.
Yeah, no, well, okay. If you want to talk similarities there, or at least lessons you could learn from 3-on-3 to the power play, well, they're not going McKinnon and Natchez anymore in 3-on-3 overtime.
This is speaking to what you've wanted for weeks.
But now, granted, 3-on-3 is, or 3-man is different than 5-man. Although, yes, I wouldn't mind seeing a look without Natchez. But like I said, I like the net front from him. You know, he needs to do that. He's going to need to do that. If he's going to be out there with McKinnon in a 5-on-4 power play, because I want Mac primarily on that left side. So what they're doing in 3-on-3 overtime is it's, McKinnon, Nichushkin, McKinnon, Nelson. It's McKinnon with a bigger, more defensive-minded player, so you can bail him out more. When McKinnon and Natchez would make a mistake, and now there's a rush the other way, those two aren't the best back checkers. I saw someone in the chat point out Nichushkin being a beast. He had a couple great back check plays late in this game. I think he had one in the 3-on-3 overtime, did Valeri Nichushkin. So if he's out there with McKinnon, Nichushkin can go correct some errors if the puck goes the other way. Same with Brock Nelson. They put Lehkonen out there with Natchez because Lehkonen, even though he's undersized, is a beast defensively and can go back check. So that's why you split McKinnon and Natchez up in 3-on-3 overtime. You need both of them out there. Landeskog could be another player who will back check. Natchez and McKinnon, that's not their forte. So therefore, you need to split them up. And they did that tonight in the 3-on-3 overtime. And they have been doing that of late. And it really, they should have ended it in overtime. Like, they were beast mode in that overtime.
Yeah, McKinnon had 2 or 3 grade A looks, particularly the first of the 3 was the one that he came down the short side, made a little inside to out move, and then tried to beat Hart over his glove. He missed it, went up into the stands. After that, he makes a beautiful pass cross ice to Brock Nelson, who rips one off the post. It should have ended in 3-on-3 overtime. You're right; it shouldn't have had to go all the way to a shootout. But man, it's such a gutty win from that team when they didn't have their best, when they didn't get their best goaltending performance from Scott Wedgwood. This could have easily been listen, we had to travel earlier, or rather closer to game time than we normally have to, right? Because of the 3-day hiatus for the NHL. You could have chalked this up to coming off a little bit flat after Christmas. We'll be fine. We'll get it right against LA on Monday. And they didn't. They just continue to find ways to get points. They continue to find ways to chase records this year. And I'm trying to find things that I think are poor on this team, and I don't see many of them. Like the power play was fine tonight. Or not the power play. The penalty kill was fine tonight. Sure, you made the point. No Marner, no Theodore, no Carlson. You can make
Eichel.
the argument. Oh, sorry, Eichel, not Marner. Marner was certainly there. Marner made that play to Barbashev.
The shootout goal from Marner was the best goal of the shootout.
The shootout goal from Marner, the play to Barbashev was fantastic. One thing we haven't mentioned actually, Spring, is I'll sidetrack myself and get back into the shootout. The move from Dorofeev that should have been in the back of the net, probably. I wonder if Dorofeev scores or Dorofeev scores on that beautiful move instead of missing the puck on his forehand. I wonder if Colorado wins the shootout. I think they lose it.
I thought that maybe Wedgwood had poked it, but no, he just loses it. It was a nice move. It was similar to the Natchez move. It's funny, Dorofeev was cleaner. Like he didn't fall down on his move, but he loses the puck. Natchez is sloppier and falls down, but is able to hold on to the puck and finishes it. but I really think, it was just deserved. Like the hockey gods just willed the Avs to win that shootout because they fought. They were ultimately the better team in 60 minutes. They were certainly the better team after 65 minutes. Like, they were definitely the better team in overtime. So the hockey gods just said, no, the Avs are winning this shootout one way or another. But, Wedgwood's beat there. And I don't think any of the goals tonight were on Wedgwood per se, but it was not his cleanest performance. I was expecting Blackwood to get the start tonight. Hey, it all works out. You get the 2 points. Vegas is in the Pacific. That thing's jammed at the top. Who cares if Vegas gets that point? But finally, we did see a Wedgwood start, for the first time in a while. He had a few in the start of the season. Then he was even good at the start of the season, but then he settled in like none other. This is the first start in a while where I felt like, okay, I want to see some Blackwood, because I just felt like he would have been a little cleaner tonight.
I find myself agreeing with you. Spring, did you know that had Colorado lost this game tonight, and this is from Big Drive Spence of the DNVR, it would have been the first time since March 19 of 2025 that both the Avs and the Nuggets lost in regulation on the same day.
Both teams are really good.
Both teams are really good.
Nuggets barely lost tonight.
March 19th of 2025, the Nuggets lost 120-108 against the Lakers, and the Avs later that day would have lost to the Maple Leafs 2-1. The only goal scored in that game, Valeri Nichushkin tied that thing up, I believe, halfway through the third period. They lost 2-1 to Toronto in that game.
Well, see, we can't have that happening. You
can't have it, especially not against this version of Toronto.
Well, and you just can't have both these teams right now, the Nuggets and the Avs, lose in the same day or in regulation in the same day, because they're both so good. Can't be happening right now. You got to get one. You got to come away at the end of the night with one.
Ends up being a really good day for Denver sports fans, right? I know they lose late down the stretch to Orlando. Orlando comes back, figures out a way to get Denver, and I suppose that is understandable coming off of a emotional game, a historic game on Christmas Day for the Nuggets. But
sandwiched road trip for the Nuggets
certainly was,
and losing the first one hurts.
Yeah, losing the first one with 3 starters out that's tough.
Why it's going to be tough.
Yeah. Sandwiched in between that and then the Avs win is, well, the Denver Broncos are AFC West champions by default.
Yeah, dude. Man, the Chargers shot themselves in the foot today.
Oh, the Chargers freaking chargered today so hard, man. It doesn't matter who's coaching them. It doesn't matter who their quarterback is. The Chargers will always fucking charger, and it is so damn funny. There is no more chargering scenario than what happened today with the Justin Herbert interception right at the end of
Gadsden.
Syracuse guy
going to timeout, my friend. He had a couple bad drops. Cameron Dicker, the best kicker in the league this year,
unbelievable,
misses a chip shot, field goal, and an extra point.
Unbelievable.
I don't know what you're doing, letting dudes get over the top of you in the first 5 minutes of the first quarter. But hey, it leads to the Broncos winning the AFC West today. So really a 2-1 day for Denver. Nuggets loss does, suck a little bit, but hey, the Spurs lost to the Jazz. So there's that. Dallas lost. Saw that in the chat, and I did mention that in a shootout at home to the Chicago Blackhawks. And the Blackhawks are struggling. Like they remember they were like over 500. They were like top 3 or 4 in the West in the first month and a half-ish of the season, but now we're past Christmas and everything's starting to settle in more. And Chicago is now the worst team in the Central, even though they won tonight. Which, it's how the world works itself out, but they go into Dallas and they win in the shootout. Someone said in the chat to check out Mikko's penalty shot. I did not see it, but I'm assuming it wasn't good based on the verbiage of the message in our chat. See if I can find it.
Rantanen did score his
Raj.
15th of the season this year. Yeah, really good shootout victory for Chicago, despite not having Connor Bedard for a handful of weeks. It's probably the reason why they've started to tumble down the Central. The other great story around the NHL right now, the Buffalo Sabres have won 8 straight hockey games.
Yeah.
And are tied for the final wild card spot in the East now. Again, very packed in the East. But Buffalo, who was left for dead 2 weeks ago, 8 straight. They're now 6-0 after hiring Jarmo Kekalainen as their brand new GM, formerly of the Columbus Blue Jackets. I believe Jarmo Kekalainen was the general manager of Columbus when Jared Bednar and company, as well as Chris McFarland, were in that Columbus system.
Okay. Yeah, I definitely. In fact, the Buffalo was my favorite pick tonight to beat Boston. I don't remember the Avs went into Buffalo and won earlier in the season. They're a little bit of a different team now. And Buffalo has some of the similar young talent that a Montreal does. Maybe not quite on that level, but it's there. Montreal, Ottawa, Detroit. So it's good to see Buffalo playing like that. And I did just see the Rantanen shootout attempt. Bleacher Report has it. My man he loses the puck. He just straight up, it may as well have not even shot. I mean, he just didn't even get a shot attempt off. Just stick handle. Whoops, don't have the puck. I give up.
So I love it, man. All right, Spring. Avs, big time comeback victory, 6-5 in the shootout over the Vegas Golden Knights. Our standings right now, Colorado 28-2-7, which is just an absurd record through 37 games, 63 points. They've got a 6-point lead on Dallas with 2 games in hand. The only 3 teams in the National Hockey League that have 50 or more points, well, they all reside in the Central Division. Colorado with 63, Dallas with 57, Minnesota with 52. The next closest this year, Detroit with 47 points in the Atlantic, and Carolina with 49 points in the Metropolitan. Next time we'll see the Avs will be on Monday evening as they return back home to take on the LA Kings, who had a big win this evening. I'll be on the network broadcast that evening. Last time I tried to leave halfway through the second period and get to the studio, I was unfortunately met with a crazy traffic jam. I can't guarantee I'm going to try that again, but Spring and I will have Between the Pipes for you shortly after that, around 10 p.m., 10:30 p.m. on Monday.
Yeah, my final thought here, the last thing that's on my mind is, they get down 4-2 in this game. They're down 2-0, and then they're down 4-2. They come back down 2 goals twice in this game, but certainly when they get down 4-2, I'm thinking okay, here it is. They're going to lose. And I'm almost just kind of good, as they should, right? They only have 2 regulation losses on the year. They're going to lose again. Okay. And so I'm preparing myself mentally for
when
we've been doing this show long enough to where I know some of the people that view this show, that comment on this show, and you're going to lose your minds. You're going to be like, oh my God, I can't believe the Avs lost the game. Sam Girard, you screwed us. I can't even think of another scapegoat on this team right now, because there's really not. The only scapegoat on this team is fucking Sam Girard.
Pretty much Sam.
Who's been excellent in the last 5 or so games. It's okay. It's okay. They will lose a game. What they have done, we are spoiled. We are just absolutely spoiled. They are a cheat code.
Yeah, it's historic.
Is an absolute cheat code right now. So if and when they lose, whenever that next game is, and that show we do, I just want everyone to know that if you freak out and you lose your mind, I'm not going to do that. And I'm going to talk shit about you, okay? Because this team is awesome and shit happens.
It's funny. Tonight should have been the loss. Had I looked, if we were doing the schedule looking thing as you and I do looking forward, you called one of those losses on the East Coast. You didn't, I don't think you called the Islanders
I
loss.
thought they lose in Philly second day of
There
a
you go.
back-to-back.
There
Yeah.
you go. If we're gonna do that moving forward, like I think they get LA at home. I think they get St. Louis as well. They do go on that little road trip where they'll see Carolina, Florida, and Tampa Bay. 3 games, 5 nights. The 3rd, the 4th, the 6th. One of those games is not going their way. At least.
No, it's tough. I mean, at Carolina, at Florida. I know Florida's undermanned, but they're actually playing a little better, and
they're playing better. Kachuk is close. Tampa's still good.
When you go on the road for over 2 games, and those are all formidable opponents, you're probably not sweeping the thing. You're probably not. And you guys are going to need to mentally prepare yourself for that. This is why giving yourself the cushion of being 28-2-7, that's where that comes in extremely handy.
Sure does.
Where when you lose a game, you should just be kicking your feet up, being like, we lost. Because you're going to. It's okay.
The good news is you get 3 games in 5 days against Carolina, Florida, and Tampa Bay. Carolina and Florida coming on back-to-backs. By the way, the Florida game, it's a 5 p.m. against Carolina on Saturday and a 3 p.m. against Florida on Sunday. So like it's not only is that a back-to-back, it is a crazy short back-to-back. One of those games is not going your way. I'm going to guarantee it right now. The nice thing is after that 3-game set, you get a cushy 7-game homestand against Ottawa, Columbus, Toronto, Nashville. The first really decent hockey team that you have is Washington, and then you finish it off with Anaheim and Philly. Like, you come off of 3 brutal road games, and you come home to a homestand that I go, if you don't get 6 of 7, something wrong went down.
Yeah, no, they are going to accumulate a ton of points. And they need to stay healthy. I saw something tonight where like the Avs have had 14 of their players play 100% of their games this season, which is most in like for the largest amount of players playing every game this season. The Avs have had the Avs are the highest in the NHL. The Avs have had the most players play every game this season, more than any other team in the NHL. So they've stayed healthier than other teams. That helps a lot. I mean, look at the Broncos. Oh, you look at the injury reports that the Broncos have been chugging out. The Broncos injury report is way thinner than their opponent week in and week out. You lose J.K. Dobbins, okay, like every team's going to lose some players. Broncos have actually had fantastic injury luck, and they just won the division. The Avs have had great injury luck, and they're the best team in the NHL. That is a key factor. You stay healthy, you're going to accumulate a ton of points because they are just a class above really everybody else. And, if you're Dallas tonight, you lose at home. You only get 1 point at home against Chicago. I don't know if they have a post-game show like we do. They're losing their damn minds.
Yeah, they're probably really pissed off. You get that point, and you know what happens? They only get 1 point against Chicago, but then you look over and you go, oh, they're down 2-0 against Vegas. Oh, they're down 4-2 against Vegas. It's okay. Oh, shit, they tied up 4-4, and then it goes, oh, they're down 5-4. 3 minutes to go. They're not coming back in this game. Then it's 5-5. It's like everyone in Dallas has to be looking up at Colorado going like, what the fuck do we do with these guys?
Yeah, and you only get 1 point against the worst team in the Central at home. So I know it's frustrating that, as good as the Avs have been, Dallas is still somewhat on their tails. Now
Great hockey team.
But it's more frustrating for Dallas because they're just like, what the fuck do we have to do? Like, these guys are just outpacing us, and we're having an excellent season.
All right, Spring. It's going to do it, man. It's late. I'm tired. Avs win.
It is late
yet again
as well.
Ho hum. That's all they do. They win hockey games. We'll talk to you guys on Monday after the Avs take on the Los Angeles Kings live from Ball Arena. That's Mark Springer. I'm Alex Ryan-Emmy. Monday, 10:30, something around there. You guys will see the notifications if you are subscribed on YouTube. If you're not, do it tomorrow, or follow us and subscribe on Twitch as well. Avs in a stunning comeback beat Vegas, and they continue to be the best team in the league. Holy smokes.